It was a very exciting day. A lot of technocrats, engineers have shared a lot of insights on software-defined vehicles, hardware, and how things are changing for automotive industry. We have none other Narain Karthikeyan today to talk about how he perceives technology and what is his perception about technology. But first of all, I would like to take you to your memory lane. When did you thought of doing motorsports F1?
Good afternoon, everybody. Really happy to be here amongst the stalwarts of the industry. Normally, I wear the hat of a Formula One driver, but today I sit here as an entrepreneur, as a founder of a startup, DriveX. We deal with pre-owned two-wheelers, and it's obviously enabled by technology. So this is something which I founded in 2020 August, and like everything else, what I've done before, I'm here to oversee this entire project and make it a pan-India operation. That's what we're doing.
So I would like to ask you about your first memories of F1 when you started to prepare, and can you give some anecdotes? Because driving on particular road versus on a circuit, it's quite different. And how did you prepare?
So I come from Coimbatore, right? And in the early 90s, it was a very quiet industrial town, and everybody had something to do with cars. And it was natural that I got into, the bug bit me, and very early on, as kids do, you say, okay, this sport looks exciting, and you're driving at 300 kilometers an hour, so let's try and be a Formula One driver. I thought it was that easy, and it was.
But you are the first one to crack internationally, so how it happened?
Yeah, it's. India still has a very limited infrastructure and so on and so forth. So you can imagine in the early 90s, it was very, very tough. But I had some lucky breaks. I had the Tata group, Mr. Tata himself, saw that there could be a potential Indian Formula One driver, and he started supporting the cause. And I had a few lucky breaks, and performance in Formula 3, the two levels, the two categories below Formula 1 was quite good. I finished second in the FIA Formula 3 World Cup in 2000, and that gave me the energy, that gave me the confidence to take on the world in motorsport. And eventually, in 2005, I became India's first Formula One driver, and I had a terrific qualifying session. In qualifying, I remember it was very, very wet, the conditions, and actually I qualified in front of Michael Schumacher for that race, my first race in Formula One. So yeah, very, very good memories, and it was a proud moment for all the motorsport community in India, and that's how the journey started.
And what you are currently doing to promote motorsports in India? F1 is one of the toughest motorsports that is there. And because infrastructure, you said it's not there. How are you promoting motorsport, being the torchbearer for the motorsports?
Yeah, access to motorsport is still very limited, but we're doing a lot of initiatives with corporates and so on and so forth to to get the grassroots levels of motorsport going in the country. We're building an automotive test facility combined with a racetrack in Coimbatore. So that's going to create a little bit of infrastructure, and of course, the knowledge I have for the last 30 years, I would like to share it with the younger generation. And just right now, doing my startup, that takes up a lot of time, but this is passion, and going forward, I'm definitely would like to contribute in a big way.
Is it true that an F1 driver loses around 2 to 3 kgs after one race? And
yeah, that's why I'm like this. No, but in the hot races in Bahrain, Malaysia, Singapore, you lose 5-6 kilos of weight due to the G-forces.
I should surely participate in motorsports.
Yeah, if you can fit in, yes, you should. The cockpits are The cockpits are really tiny, and we have to be like jockeys, unfortunately. So we can, try
Right.
and do NASCAR, which
Right.
might be, suitable. But Lewis Hamilton was heard saying that, the current generation cars are so physical to drive. They're pulling like 6 positive Gs, and in a fighter aircraft, you do about 8 and 9 a human kind of, you have a blackout. So you can imagine how difficult it is to drive these
Right.
days. Lots of you would have seen Drive to Survive in Netflix. It's all about Formula One. That's what I was doing for 10 years. So it was the most exciting thing, the sport itself, and, it gives Formula One is just, it's all about cutting edge technology. It's about exposure to teamwork. It's exposure to, processes. And most of it, for most importantly for me, it is the connect with the automotive ecosystem all over the world. So, all this has helped me to put together my platform, DriveX. And I'm happy that, I wanted to do something in the auto world, and I'm happy that I've, jumped into this.
So before jumping into DriveX and why did you start, I would like to understand your view on the current technological development happening in auto industry, be it electric vehicles, connected, autonomous. How are you viewing this space, and what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, obviously, technology is growing leaps and bounds, especially the battery technology, the ADAS technology. And, India is well set to absorb all these technologies and produce more efficient, safer, mobility solutions. So, yeah, we are set for a revolution. And as always, India's, forefront in software technology and so on and so forth. So we are well, we are there to kind of absorb all of this, and I think we will be the, going forward, we will be the front runners in all of these technologies.
So do you think technology can help to make roads better, safe, driver safety, and
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the
can
aim.
you also give some tips, making drive more safe on roads
So
as compared to
I always say this, racing in the racetrack is much safer than driving on Indian roads. At least that's what it was. Things are changing, but the infrastructure is getting better. The cars and bikes are getting faster. So the civic sense of driving and so on and so forth is still at a very, very low base. There's a lot of scope for improvement, and safety is something that needs to be worked on and pushed on a daily basis so that our roads become safer for everyone.
So now let's jump to your new startup, DriveX, the new baby you're working on. When did you thought of, thinking of doing affordable mobility startup, DriveX, and what was the thought behind? And give some anecdotes on that side.
So yeah, ideally it would have been in the four-wheeler world, but there were many players already, and there was a big opportunity in the pre-owned two-wheeler space. Nobody had cracked it, so we found a good opportunity here. I met some interesting people from Gojek, a large two-wheeler platform in Indonesia, and that inspired me. Plus, every one of us, grow up riding two-wheelers, and technically I was very sound. So used some of these technologies from my experience in Formula One, and we currently operate 3 state-of-the-art refurbishment centers. We also are into the repowering space of pre-owned two-wheeler EVs. So our business is very, quite complex. Mainly, a lot of, unorganized players, and we are at a stage where four-wheelers, the pre-owned four-wheeler automotive, the digital platforms were 12 years ago. So there is a lot of scope for our business to grow. So we source the two-wheeler, we refurbish them, and we retail them. We also do a lease and a subscription option, of course, enabled by technology. The founders here, our CEO, Prasad Salunke, myself, we are all auto guys, and where we are struggling right now is to put the digital platform in place. As I earlier said, we have all the connects in the automotive industry, but digital is something which is very important to scale, and we foresee that as being the biggest challenge. And so it's a very, very exciting journey. And for me to be part of this, I think for me it's a great opportunity to kind of get in this on this platform. And it's all about producing more sustainable two-wheelers and which are more efficient, less emissions, all of that. So this is what we're trying to do.
So if may I ask, what are the key learnings that you have implemented from your F1 experience to your new startup? 3 key learnings, if you can
I think,
mention.
as I told you earlier, racing and what we do, there are so many verticals which, kind of align. First of all, it's about teamwork. I have a great set of people who help me, and, the team always played a role in my success. So here, the star is DriveX, and we are all working towards that. Processes, knowledge on, as I told you, refurb is a very important part of our business. So we are kind of, with my experience, where we were able to implement a lot of new cutting edge technology. So turnaround time is much lower, but focusing on quality and so on and so forth. Processes in Formula One, there's a lot of processes which we could kind of adapt. And, again, I told you, the fourth most important factor here is the connect with the OEMs. Our platform is, supported by TVS, by Bajaj, and both Mr. Rajiv Bajaj and Mr. Venu Srinivasan are, involved in supporting DriveX. So, we have all the right ingredients in place to make this.
How big is the opportunity in pre-owned two-wheelers?
So, as far as data is concerned, it's 1.5 times larger than the new the market size of the new two-wheelers. So, as I told you, it's very, very large.
And I guess you're working with OEMs like Tata for vehicle validation, testing. Could you throw some light on that and around the technology that you have been working with them?
Yeah, so my association with Tata goes back for I think now 25 years. They first were sponsors, and they supported me from my Formula 3 days. I do a lot of work with Tata Motors as an external vehicle engineering expertise on ride and handling and dynamics, benchmarking all of what is available in the market, and work very, very closely with Mr. Petker's team, who's one of the speakers tomorrow. So, it's a fun project. You see, you're exposed to all the technology designs, and you have your inputs in trying to make these car feel like sports cars, but with a lot of comfort also, being the focus. So it's been a really nice exposure for me and opportunity as well.
Okay, thank you. I would like to open the house for questions if anyone would like to ask.
Hi, Narain. Considering that the new automotive industry is increasingly getting electrified, and given the inherent advantage of an EV, be it a two-wheeler, three-wheeler, of the high torque, how about DriveX maybe at some point also kind of launching a brand of performance two-wheelers? Is that a scope that is possible?
Of course, never say never, but right now the focus is on a different vertical. But yes, we are in the two-wheeler space, so could be natural going forward. We're just stabilizing, building a team, and as I told you, our refurb centers are coming up nicely, yes, but it could be easily an extension of what we do, absolutely. And, again, the opportunity here in India is very large, and we are exposed to the current technology, so it wouldn't be so difficult, I would imagine, but not yet there.
With you in the picture, if and when it happens, I'm sure the prospects will be good.
Thank you. Thanks, yes.
Hi, Narain. Nice meeting you just outside. So I'm Giri Kumar from Bosch, Head of Accident Research. So as you know, India is the largest two-wheeler market, so close to 16 million volume every year. And we have close to 150,000, 3,000 fatalities, which is coming, which is close to 37,000 of motorcycle riders are fatal every year. Yeah, which brings a very big volume. So 37,000 is the all fatalities of Europe and Japan put together. Is happening only in two-wheelers. Yeah. So do you have any plans or thoughts that to work towards this direction rather than like you already are working on performance, technology, and other stuff? Do you have any thought process on it? And if you're open for collaboration, we are also open for it. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, the statistics are just so sad, but yes, obviously, as I spoke to you earlier, more than happy to, kind of, lend my support to whatever that we can do in order to make our roads safer. And yeah, I mean, motorcycles, two-wheelers especially, you're more exposed and again, we need to do our bit to kind of help it make better, and DriveX will be part of this journey for sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hi, Narain. RS Mani here. Yeah. So it's a general question, like you being a racer, maybe like more than 2-3 decades earlier, now having artificial intelligence built maybe on the vehicle, how you feel is going to be the experience of the racer, the thrill which maybe lost you feel, or how you feel? So
Yeah, it will be sad, if AI takes over, the sporting element goes away completely. But I think the day is not too far away, though. The way things are going right now, especially in the last 6-8 months, anything can happen. But then we'll all be out of a job, so hopefully not.
is the technology getting you better experience, or it's reducing your experience?
So yeah, I mean, from pure racing point of view, things have evolved, of course, but it's still there's a lot of element which revolves around the racing driver itself. So a racing driver does, kind of make a difference in terms of setups, in terms of getting the best out of the car, and so on and so forth. But with technology, this has become a little bit more easier. But the sporting element of it should stay. At least for a while, I hope. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Narain, Yogesh here. I'm basically an engine designer and also optimizing the engines for this. What I could understand in your Formula race is the team which is at the back is able to change the data set on a running vehicle to make your performance. I just hear about it, but in a real world, we cannot do the fly-by-wire. But in racing cars, really does it happen that people back down, tweak to get you the speed or the power for that instant to pass the race? Does it happen really?
Yeah, absolutely. They have real-time telemetry, and the engineers from the pits, they actually can control your fuel mixture, different parameters in the car. So now it has become only one way, so they cannot, they can communicate to the driver, and we have to go into the sub-menus and we can, change the parameters. Now with turbocharged cars, they're more efficient, plus with the battery cell, you can manage the output of the power quite easily and use it when necessary. So the storage systems are all now, so evolved that you have constant open radio chat with the pit crew, and you're able to use this as an advantage whenever needed.
Narain, tell us a little bit about your charm, apart from your skill, that you used to attract all the corporates. And is it still possible today for aspiring F1 drivers to get that kind of support?
Yeah, I think, as I told you, I was very, very lucky to have the support of the Tata Group itself, not only Tata Motors, but the entire group. It costs a lot of money to buy the equipment and so on and so forth. Without corporate support, it's impossible, right? And that, it's still, as I told you, the base is very low in India. Still, corporate support for motorsport is almost, non-existent. So hopefully things will change. Formula One coming to India, we thought, things will get better, but then for whatever reason, 2011, 12, and 13, after which nothing much happened, and It's very, very difficult to say today that, I will, I'll be a professional, motorsport driver, be it rallying, racing, or whatever, without corporate support is virtually impossible. And countries like in Brazil and, South America, Europe, a lot of corporate supports, manufacturers, OEMs, they have their own series, they support a lot of young drivers. So still we're a little bit behind, but hopefully, things may get better. Thank you very much. Thank you.
First question first, do you miss being on the racetrack as a driver?
Do I miss it? Yeah, of course. It's very different. As I told you, earlier, you may have seen, the Formula One documentaries, which are so popular in, Netflix. So,
True.
yeah, this is what I was doing. So, always as a sportsman, as a, doing something different. This is challenging, but Formula One is Formula One. It's the pinnacle of the sport, and it gives you a huge thrill and a lot of competitive spirit for sure.
All right, so let's put you in a rapid fire quickly on this or that. You've got to choose one between this. Machine or method? Method, a method to operate it.
My machine. Yeah.
Founder or a CEO?
Both are tough. Yeah, founder.
Tea or coffee?
Neither.
Max Verstappen or Lewis Hamilton?
Lewis.
Any day. How many of you love Louis here? A big supporter of Louis fan here. All right, your all-time favorite racer?
Senna.
Okay, and one word you have to say and describe the experience here with ETAuto Tech Summit. What would that be?
I mean, a lot of, as I told you, a lot of industrial stalwarts here and, very great exposure. And I think, have fun and thank you very much for having me here today.